What up YouTube, it's your boy Rodder back out with another video, and today we're going to do a repair to this old clapped out vise that I had gotten from my father back in the summer of 2017. Now when I got it from my dad, it was all rusted, been sitting out in a box for a while. I had some issues with the rust, some stuff was seized up, and there was some of the bolt holes that hold the jaws in were completely wallered out. Some of them were filled with JB weld. So I did clean it up, didn't do a video of it, but did get a full restoration, cleaned up, and it's all on my Instagram if you want to go check that out. But now I'm finally getting around, almost 4 years later, to fixing the those bolts. I think one of the bolts doesn't even do anything. I don't even think it's in the jaw. We'll see here in a minute. Yep, one of those holes is definitely missing, or one of the bolts is missing. It's held up, great shape, but the threads on the right there, real wobbly. Some of the threads are missing. This one has no threads at all. It was one of the holes that was filled with JB weld. I'm picking some of it out so you can actually see it. All JB weld. Now just doing some further disassembly. It's gonna make it easier for the other things I have to do to this. When I originally got this, it was this hammered green looking color. You'll see here in a second, like a mint green color. And I didn't have any paint like that, so I painted it with a black enamel paint that you wipe on. Laid it on pretty thick. It's been well protected. No rust has come through it since then. This one actually had both bolts in it, but this one was missing the pin on the back. I don't know what to do about that pin. I don't know if I really need it. I think it just helped it stay aligned. You can see the difference, the 34 thousandths in that. And I think the next one's like a 1/4 inch. So big difference in the size of the holes. It's that one on the right. I think there was like 3 threads down left on the bottom that was holding that bolt in. None of the bolts I took out of this are actually the same size. One's longer than the other, and there's only 3 out of all of them. And this one that was a little longer, that was down in there, the threads were pretty messed up. Or it's hitting the side of the wall inside the hole there. The threads in there won't look all right. And just a close-up in the size of the difference of those holes. Even with this threaded in, it's still wobbly. The other one, there's almost 0 threads left. It doesn't do much. I had to order some parts from McMaster-Carr. They said they'd be there by 5, and the thread inserts that I need are the most important thing of this repair, and they're not here. They ended up not showing up until about 8:30, and I was quite happy when they finally showed up. Box finally showed up. First thing I opened up was this big 1-inch cube magnet. I got some new bolts, a big chunk of aluminum stock that we'll get into in another video, and the thread inserts, the most important thing. Check the paperwork, make sure the threads were the right size because they look kind of small. But then the new bolts that I got, I just used one of those to verify that they were the right size. And they were. There's actually an installation tool for these that I don't have, and I should have got along with it, but I didn't. And looking at the size for the thread inserts were 7/16 by 14 threads per inch. I was looking at the drill bit size. It's one of the lighter bits, and luckily for me, I have a box of letter bits for this. Something weird on the tap here from I think it's Mac Tools. It says to use a 3/8 inch drill for this tap, which is just a little bit bigger than the one that my Starrett chart says to use. But I trust Starrett, so that's the one I used, was the letter U. I went to verify that 0.368 of an inch, see where it landed on my my other scale. See how much bigger, how much smaller 3/8 was to it. Even this other chart said to use a U. I guess if it was fine threads, you'd use a Q, which is a little smaller. But these were coarse threads, like I said before, 14 threads per inch. And then I went to my little, what do I call this? My fraction to decimal to metric to verify. And the U is 0.368 of an inch. And just cross-referencing that on my my other scale here, you see it lands between 23/64 and 3/8. So I was trusting the chart, and I went with the U. So with 3 separate clamps, I was able to clamp this to the drill press to get a nice straight square hole. Drilled just fine, and I just had to move that one Harbor Freight clamp you see over to the other side, rotate it, got the other hole. The other half of the press was a little more difficult. I had to do it by hand. I couldn't get it in a clamp. When tapping, it's best to use something like a drill press where you can get it nice and straight, and it starts straight so it doesn't go in it crooked, but didn't really have that option. So I did by hand, and it worked out just fine. I got all the holes tapped to the correct size. And considering this, I think this is some kind of cast metal, so it wasn't too difficult to get going. And it was important to get at least to 0.44 or 43 of an inch, at least 7/16 deep in the hole, because that's the size of the thread insert. So I cleaned the hole up here and actually measure with the digital caliper to ensure that we were deep enough. I think it was 0.6. So definitely deep enough. And to ensure that this was staying still while I was tapping these holes, I just found a weird position to mount it on my workbench clamp. The threads turned out really nice. You'll see here at the end. See, nice clean threads. Good surface for the thread inserts to go into, so I thought. So I had a super difficult time trying to get these thread inserts. I could get them to start on one thread, and they couldn't get them to turn any more. So I ended up drilling the hole out with that 3/8 inch size, and they actually threaded in, but I could only get them in so far before they stopped. I ended up using the bolts to drive them in. Like I said before, there's an actual installation tool you're supposed to use for these, and I don't have it, and the pins got knocked out. I got one pin on this. This actually locks it into the internal threads. This one didn't work out as well. It ended up bending over at the end there, and had to use a cold chisel to get the rest of that out to get it flat with the surface. But the rest of them went in pretty well, pretty easy. Assembling it, putting it all back together, but I had an issue with the shaft that goes in the inside. There's this metal bar on the bottom that keeps the head from spinning. I had taken that off. It's a couple push pins, and when I put it back on, I guess I had it flipped around the wrong way. So I had to take it out, put it back in there. I even lubed it up, and it was still kind of tight putting it in there. And then at one point I thought I realized what was going on after doing all this unnecessary work. So what I had to do was take that bar off the bottom that was pressed in. You can see it's got a bit of a gap there. It doesn't close all the way. And flipped it around and reset the pins in it. You can see there it sticks out about 1/4 inch. When you flip around the other way, it doesn't stick out of the end at all right there. So once that's flipped out, it went back together just fine. Now, I was originally making other jaws for this out of this aluminum stock that I had, but had some memory card issues. New memory card won't be here till Friday, so I'll make another video. I'm going to make some aluminum jaws for this smaller vise here as well. It's good aluminum. It came with some kind of certificate. I don't know why, but I think some nice aluminum jaws in there would be a good touch. You know, like, look at these 3 different bolts I took out. You can see they're all a different size. But thanks for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Write a comment below. Let me know what you thought. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. And I'll see you next time.